Howdy, Howlers. It's me, Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit, and welcome to the Authortube sleepover. And, of course, I have my cohort in crime.
What's
the
up,
wonderful,
my writing weirdos?
Fabulous BC Brown Books.
Yay!
Yay!
All my writing weirdos are here. I kid you not, Sako. This, this whole time I've been watching my cat try and chase that fly. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna be able to sit comfortably tonight, very comfortably with my feet kicked up and my keyboard exactly where I need it to be. The instant you started playing your countdown, he just decided to he's no longer interested in the fly, came over and just lapped me. Just everything is, yeah, he catted me. I got catted hard.
Yeah. Yep. So Sam Wicker popped in and dropped a like and is off to eat supper and maybe game a bit. So thank you. And Debbie is in the crowd. Hello, Debbie. And BC doing double duty.
Yep. And speaking of double duty, we are dual streaming. So we are on Sako's channel primarily and also shooting everything over to my channel and BC Brown Books. So if you're on one or the other, please be nice and at least, drop us each a like. Feel free to give whomever you want the watch time. Does not matter. And
does not matter.
And we will try to, we'll try to do our best to make sure everybody's comments are highlighted so that everybody can see everybody's. I'm pretty sure it's working correctly. Is what they say. It's been working correctly. That each channel can see each other's comments, but I don't believe them.
I don't believe them.
I don't believe anyone that promises me something that's techie is gonna work, especially the last month with my day job with the paycheck. If everything that can go wrong technologically with my little work from home system that could go wrong has gone wrong. And then my usual gremlin problems.
It's a heating pad.
That's awesome. So you can have a little.
And it's got a little tail. And
I love that.
It weighs as much as my other cat.
Awesome. I love weighted heating pads. I mean, technically, I have two of them. They just happen to actually be cats.
It's the kind that you stick in the microwave for
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Has the rice that I love that. Mm-hmm. I prefer the all natural one. The all natural heating and stuff like that.
But. You mentioned someone going to each channel and giving the likes, and it's going to be Cool Gamer that does it.
Of course it is dual duty. We're still waiting for the Cool Gamer 1 story. We're waiting for this backstory, keeping us in suspense forever. That's a writer right there.
Keeping us in suspense forever.
Talk about creating demand. My wonderful wife bought a giant box of Laffy Taffy the other day, which is a very, very, very bad idea. But
yeah.
I will be eating Laffy Taffy, and I apologize to everybody in advance.
Crinkle, 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 crinkle.
Hey, some people are into that kind of ASMR, so it's all good.
I'll give you that.
I'll do my very best to wrinkle as little as possible and make sure I have thoroughly chewed before talking.
Okay.
All right, so we were talking. We're gonna add. So are we, just to break it down? are we gonna do some actual chunks and sprints tonight? I figured we probably
I'm gonna say
should.
no, because if we're gonna get if we're gonna get through Act 3 tonight, I feel like we should like get rubber to the road.
Yeah, I'm good with that. We're gonna get the map open and the. You want to share your screen or me share?
Yeah, mine? I'll share. I'll or we can share yours. That I am indifferent.
I mean, probably it's a good idea to share yours. I'm a little more squirrely with my map. I'm gonna make people like seasick. Okay, so we've decided here.
Oh, Debbie made a pan. Made a heating pad in junior high, though that hers would smell of popcorn.
That is cool.
Yeah, it does smell a little bit like popcorn when it's done.
Actually, yeah, last time I was like, I have to absolutely have a weirdly shaped, heating pad for something.
Mm-hmm.
I just went and got a tube stock and put the rice in it. And you're right, it kind of does when you just heat it up in the microwave. It does really kind of just smell like popcorn, oddly.
Indeed.
Okay. So I've got to put in here that we decided to actually show. Why is that doing that? Not doing inside the box like I wanted it to.
Double click on the thing. Yeah.
Right.
Which means it's gotta like.
Yeah, it's gonna have to pop.
It's gonna have to pop.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she goes to.
Then she heads.
She goes to Kyler's for help. She looks a little worse for wear, but is otherwise okay. She explains to Kyler how they kept her alive by feeding her dead animal blood, and how they tortured her horrifically. Does she show these signs, or has she healed them?
I think she should still have remnants. Like she still needs a few more beatings, to. And the reason I'm thinking that is because she'll still be healing.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time that we show up for the climax and the big showdown and everything. So it's like her and a very tiny band of rogue vampires that didn't align with Satan, etc. And then like these ragaband, the Unbound and everything, like just all these little weirdos showing up. She won't look quite as ethereally, vampirically gorgeous because she'll be a little scuffed and roughed.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Gloria explains that Satan was visited by. Oh, what was his name? Tommy?
Yeah.
And his bitches. While she was on the brink of death, and told told Tommy that if they pledged their loyalty to Satan to help him win the war against Lucifer in exchange for Satan would help them destroy the church who killed Tiamat. We could absolutely make this an actual scene if we keep the pacing.
If we feel the pacing is slow leading up to it. But that was before we decided to kind of speed things up with Gloria's. So it will still just depend on how much more pacing we need there. Like if we need a couple flashbacks to kind of, do some popcorning is what I call, where you have those latent fireworks that go off. That's like, you have the big fireworks and then you have the one or two that go, pew, 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 kind of a thing. It's just enough to get your adrenaline back up and hopeful again and then settle back down. That is how I describe this portion of the of like when I'm having to flow through the pacing when I'm thinking about it.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have to think about it. Well, we are thinking about it now, and we're gonna show more than tell.
Yeah,
I think for Gloria's arc, we might end up like moving some of those post-its around when the time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think these we should be able to kind of weave them together in in either a flashback situation or a or like her actually telling what happened, what happened before her eyes versus us being more descriptive and in her head kind of thing with a flashback. We could have fun with that here if we want to. It just would require some juggling. Did that make sense what I said? Made sense to me. Okay. Made sense to me, but also SUI. And even sometimes without SUI.
Yeah.
Half 90% of what I think does not even make sense to me. And I'm like, how does that happen?
Oh. The council, this is when the council thinks they're helping and they're not.
Yeah, this is when the Ponzi little bastards are like, we're gonna help, but
so they go to rescue Darian from the thing.
From Zebby and the other, Ham that helped us out. But the thing is
along with Ham.
Yeah. So, and then we had here, and this is yeah.
Dericia readies the enforcements to go after the cult. But for what reason?
See,
at this juncture, like to avenge Gloria?
No, I don't think so. We're gonna have to. It's gonna have to. Let me get down to it in the outline real quick. Scroll. Let's see here.
Burp.
It's because Zebulon's forces try to assassinate Kyler.
Oh,
This should go over
okay.
like right here.
Do
Yeah.
we have, and we have that. We okay, so Zebby's forces try to assassinate Kyler. And that should go in front of Durisha.
Yep. Okay. And of course, we, according to what we wrote on the outline, it says, but with the Unbound's help, Zebby is defeated. Hooray! We own the universe. There are casualties, and this will give us a moment of reflection for both the Unbound and also Kyler. Because right now they're like at this point, Darian's been kidnapped. This dude Ham that tried to help him's been kidnapped. Gloria's been kidnapped. Everything's like going wrong. So at this point, they're like riding on pure anger, rage, grief, stuff like that. So this would actually give them a moment of like a moment of pause. I don't want to kill the pacing. I just want to show the inevitable down that comes you know, with that kind of uh, trauma and insane things going on around you. Hey, Nikki.
What blue did you do? This blue? Yeah.
Yeah. Sapphire, I think is. All right, Sako. I have to. I am sending you a picture, in Messenger, and you need to show it on the screen, because it's just I think you'll appreciate it. And I promise you, it's not anything bad.
Okay.
I think everybody should get to see tonight's coworker and how catted my lap got. I think folks will appreciate it. Ta-da! This is my Spartacus Maximus Orangicus. Chilling on. Those are my legs, and that's my keyboard that he is going to start weirdly punching things in on in a moment. So y'all are going to see weird shit on the screen. But anyway, I just had to share the cute.
It is the cute. It is definitely the cute.
Okay, back to what we were talking about. Murdering people and moments of reflection.
Okay, so
Love this. I love the things that we get to say as horror
Kyler
writers.
Is hold on. The drama from the last act.
Dang it. Told you. It's okay, I can put that back in here. You keep doing what you were doing.
Okay.
He was gonna erase something.
The drama from the last act thinks in for Kyler. Okay, so What is next on the outline?
Next on the outline, seems like a weird jump we did, but Kitty returns for the I guess we have that Kyler forgot all about Kitty and the rescheduled appointment, and
Oh, the old world coming back
yeah, yeah. So
to
like,
and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
well, and yeah, and they're all like, they're like, because they've just got this new awakening about their powers and what they can do, and but also it's not that Kyler likes their clients. I mean, they're weird and quirky sometimes, but most of the time they like him. I would assume otherwise they wouldn't, take them on as clients. So,
But the money is too good.
I mean, there is that. That's always going to be a bread and butter thing, but they don't know what they can do yet.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
this is
so hold on. So the next one, so did we just like jut Kitty into the outline and then split up Duricio reading the Unbound and then because this is the calm before the storm, right?
yeah. So I think what we should do with Kitty being rescheduled is I think I don't know if because this is going to be like the last push right before
The climax, right?
yeah, right before the climax. So I think it needs that little bit of the lull of trying to balance a normal life at the same time as this, like 'cause at this point we've made Kyler is turning out to be like a walking god almost, you know. And so I think we need to reground Kyler a little bit with maybe they actually wanted to get back to, they were really, really wanting to get back to Kitty and doing some seances and being with their clients and like
Normalcy.
yeah, and just a touch of normalcy because even someone as large as Kyler, everybody has where they have to have a moment of calm and peace and like inwardness versus just everything out all the time. So I would think that that would be like,
We could either do it with Kitty or we could do it with Darian.
see, I don't know why I just really want to bring Kitty back in.
Yeah, I do too because it's supposed to be like the remnants of their previous life.
Yeah, because and Kitty's also a client previous of Kyler even knowing Darian. I mean, we can make that assumption that she's a long-standing client and they've done many, many seances for her. That, we can even say that Kitty even stretches back to book one, pre-book one, basically. Like as long as Kyler's no as long as Kyler knew Daisaku, they also, knew Kitty kind of a thing. So it becomes that like thread, I guess. Sentimental thread.
Oh, right. Hmm. Which I thought we took all the thread stuff for the third book.
No, not that stuff. Not that kind of thread. Like just
Oh.
a like traced back to your ancestors, like a thread, like that.
Oh, yeah, I
The
got
energy traced back to your, like a sentimental energy traced back. You know, like not, it wouldn't be through Kyler's ancestors, but it's the echo of the simpler lives they've led up to that moment, and they're trying to bring back maybe the simpler or the happier or the whatever, the one that makes sense, you know, for a few moments. But then, you know, we're gonna have uh, more stuff coming up here in a minute where it's gonna be like whoosh, you know,
Yeah.
which I think is great because we'll be at an absolute moment of almost pure vulnerability for Kyler, being back in a moment where they are totally in control. They know what they're doing. They could do this in their sleep. And
Cat says
not going to happen.
hello.
Hi, Cat. We're going through our beats, making sure we get them straightened back out from our. Man, we have a bad
Our
habit of
diverging timelines that
we just we have such a
started
bad habit.
referencing each other.
Yeah, we just have such a bad habit of like we'll be like, all right, we fixed it. The timeline is back together. We get like 3 more beats in. We're like, how the hell did we get off the timeline again?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
swear.
Which timeline are we
Yeah.
referring to?
Yeah, at this point, it's like, you know, I'm just like, all right, is this Earth 616? What one are we working on here? Are we working on the Marvel scale? Are we working, you know, are we working on like I'm just like, okay, which timeline, which universe?
Come on.
I think it's just a pain.
The seance doesn't go right. Right?
Yeah, yes.
Because the
So,
power's no worky.
no, this is where Kyler is trying to hold a seance because they want normal, quiet life. But Tommy's
Right.
brides,
Oh, Tommy's brides.
yeah, Tommy's brides, pack of intelligent female vampires, refuse to stay out of Kyler's head during the seance and telepathically or however tell Kyler that because the vampires have been slaughtered by heavenly forces, therefore they side with Satan. This is basically Tommy's brides were not necessarily real. They didn't necessarily want to do the allegiance thing, but they did the allegiance thing, and they're trying to give the side they really think should win the heads up. They're just like, hey, on the DL, it's coming because this is how we're basically absolutely telling the reader that they did take an oath. They are going to come to the to say they're going to rally to Satan's side.
Now, do they do it telepathically or do they do it in person?
Actually, I think, well, they're dead, so I think their spirit, they should just pop right on in there. Technically, I mean,
I
if
think
Kyler, yeah, I think if Kyler can jump into other people, albeit in consent,
summoned, and they
no, they're not summoned. They just the brides. They're worried that the here I'll type. I don't know if I can say. Brides are. Where's this? I can't find my mouse all of a sudden. There it is. Okay. Brides are.
the heads up.
Because I think it would show that even some of the vampires that did, like kneel and like declare their allegiance and follow into battle and everything, didn't necessarily do it because it's what they wanted to do. Like, we could point out here very much that the brides, they believed in the neutrality of the vampires, period. So we could play with that here, and we get to massage a little bit of humanity into some beings that are otherwise, kind of wicked and badass.
Okay, so this is the third act. I'm gonna bring it up.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning.
Next to the.
We're moving on up to the next side, cause we got a 3-act visual structure inside.
Lol. Okay.
Yes. We doing good.
So,
We doing good. Into third act. Go.
So with this heads up, they get inspired to join the Unbound in their endeavor.
Who?
Kyler.
Who's they? Kyler? Oh no, Kyler at this point is all in on what's going on. It's just they needed some normalcy. They needed a raft for a moment in a hurricane. So, speaking of which, anybody in Texas and the landfall area, we hope that
Oh
you
my
are
gosh,
well
I saw a
and
video
safe.
from my belly dance teacher. It looks bad. They're out of power right now.
Yeah, one of my colleagues lives right there. I mean, she's had no power since Sunday, like at 3 something in the morning. They've got they've got FEMA and DEMA in there. They've got like water. Oh my god, there's so much water. She said, and so much damage. So because we were getting worried because she's not out of the office very often. She's there if you need her. And so but our soup was just like, hey, yeah, so she's okay, but she's probably not going to be here at least this week. So everybody, hope you're safe. Please be safe.
Please be safe. Okay. That's trying to get back into writing. I've been having a tough time with getting the words today.
I tug and pull on them all the time. So, speaking about getting back into writing, when I reached out to Sako to start writing the second, the sequel that we're working on tonight, that was me jumping back into writing because, I had been out for 2 years for medical. And I swear at first, I felt like I was like a dunce Sako because I was like, oh, she's going to get so annoyed with me because I'm like having to like pull words like teeth, but you didn't, of course. You understood. It's hard sometimes to.
Of course, I understand.
It's hard to get the words to flow. Okay. So this is in the outline. We have here. Wait, where do you have this done? This is where we have Pythia reveals that Kyler is the actual Delphian, an oracle and seer descended from Pythia. Blah blah blah. The oracle of Delphi. We already had that, didn't we?
Not yet.
Oh, we did.
At least I don't think so.
No.
Oh, the Methuselahs, who I mapped all out in the series Bible.
Ah, we did have it in here, but it is attached to the wrong thing. Let me take it and properly move it to where it needs to go. Actually, it looks so long.
Yeah.
I'll zoom down. Like, we like to just get right into that action. So, oops. This goes here. So this is if you're not only a Delphian, you're the Delphian, blah 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 blah.
Something had to have happened in order for Pythia to come back and like do the things.
That's what I
think
that's what has to. Yeah, I agree. There has to be something in here that is like the catalyst.
Some kind of catalyst.
Because Kyler's desperately trying to just take a breather, just have a breath. So I don't think like slam with Pythia, jump right into. I mean, that's not something.
There's got to be.
It could be something, but I think the subtlety of it is too. I just don't think it's right for the story. So
I think you're right.
It could be the fact that Kyler is finally figuring how to not just they're finally figuring how not to run away from the things that they don't like and how to not hide in the things that they do like. They finally figured out how to just not be in go and panic mode all the time. They actually are figuring out balance. But so maybe that would be enough to make them they know enough about themselves now. But I think it's too subtle, or we've not been that subtle with any of the themes. So
between survival mode and
actual like balance, like.
Well, what's the opposite of survival mode?
You're thriving. If you're not surviving, it's surviving, living, thriving.
I don't know if that's right. Something.
I wanted to kind of comment back more towards how that I wanted to comment back towards, you it's not just how powerful you are. It's, I wanted to Buddha. It's also how balanced you can be. It's also how, how empathetic you can be. These seances are important to Kitty, so Kyler wouldn't cancel it. Plus, they genuinely enjoy it. But I kind of wanted to. Everything's been about this is how powerful I am, and this is how. It's been self-discovery, but every time it's a self-discovery, we've given it to them as a power-up. It's been because they needed a power-up. They don't need a power-up right here, or people won't think that they're gonna get. I hope people it will be unexpected that they're going to get a power up out of trying to disassociate for 24 hours, like just trying to take a day off. I'm hoping it would be.
It's been the kind of day where online fidget poppers is a thing.
Necessary.
That's
Oh,
fair.
fellow Brown. Yep. I
That
understand
is
those
fair,
days.
Jen.
It's been a day. It's been a day.
It's been a
Well,
day for
yes,
everybody.
yes. Also, yesterday. Yesterday was, I thought, like, I felt like the entire earth was like inside my chest. You know that lovely panic feeling? Like the
Oh
entire earth was like
no.
just inside my chest, and I was just gonna like just chest burster alien all over the place. But fortunately, I did not.
And
But it
panic
was one of those.
at
So, so today I'm coming down. So today I'm on like the slight high of the I didn't explode. You know. Yeah, I think I definitely think it. That's what Pythia was waiting for. Kyler's either been um, a little egotistical about their gifts, because let's face it, they're awesome and very queer and very into themselves. Um, not in a bad way, but anyway. So and always been, or they've you know denied them, like when they were still with their parents. They've been hurt for them. They've been so they've always been either running from them or capitalizing off of them. I think one of the key things would be, uh, for a terrible term for Kyler manning up, but also finding the actual balance of it
the
can't just.
Buddha nature is
Yeah,
basically what Pythia is looking for.
yeah. She needs to know that her essence is going to a vessel, a new Delphian that um, can be unbiased and impartial and have balance while viewing all that crap they're gonna view. I like to get my little how important balance is into each story.
Yesterday, Kat wrote 4,000 words.
Woot!
You know what? Like, give yourself a little grace. Like, you did a lot, and you don't want to burn yourself out.
Exactly. It's okay to keep a little in the tank. But and also you've written less than 1,000 today, but that also means
Still
that
a
you've
lot.
written. That's still a lot, yeah. But it also means that you've written more than one. Less than 1,000, but still more than one.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already plus one. There really is no subtraction, because even if you're editing, you are doing you're doing things that advances the book, so it's still a plus, even if you take away words. That's my theory. There's my divine writer Buddha wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
All
yeah,
right.
so Pythia was waiting for this. I think we can turn this into a nice, wonderful moment of the whole, like,
You're a wizard, Harry.
yeah, kind of one of those. Um, and then, I mean, that's going to be a bit, I'm sure, much for Kyler in the moment. We do have a beat down here. Um, that Kyler is severely overwhelmed. I'm not a fighter, doubts himself, but we already have that. We moved that up further. So I think we should take that beat out here, because we moved that up with the whole reaching out to James, and James saying, "Yo, hey, you just gotta believe in yourself and have confidence, and that's what feeds our gifts. We're the ones that turn us off from our gifts," kind of a thing. God damn, I'm positive in this book. So, do you agree? Should we take that beat out of the outline then and just move on to, because right after this is going to be climax.
Right. So couldn't locate Justicia, but could locate Daisaku.
Wait, are you back over on two? Act two?
This is Act 3? No, it's Act 2. It's Act 2.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Ooh.
Bottom of Act 2.
Yeah, that's the, and then, you know, the importance of, you know.
Hey, you're undermining yourself.
And also, hey, you're not a psychic. You're a necromancer. By the way, just let you know, this is what James can
see. So that's when we decided Pythia comes back. We just haven't been writing Pythia back into the fray.
Yeah, so we mentioned her during the openings. You know, we mentioned her during the funeral prelude. We mentioned her very briefly during the seance. We haven't really brought her back in, and this is where we kind of bring her back, where it's even in like this moment when Kyler realizes that James is confirming they're not a psychic like they thought they were. They're a necromancer. And oh, I have a really great idea. Let me run this scene idea for right here. As Kyler is doing that, we get a flashback of the Emery scene again. Okay. And Emery being immolated. And we get them realizing as they're looking at their spell that they cast from their sigil for those shields, that those were souls that were swirling around them. They thought was magic before. Like, so that would give them, and we could insert Pythia.
Yeah, I remember us discussing this before. Yeah, I remember us discussing this before.
Okay. So use this to I just realized we named that poor mage Emery and we immolated him.
Oh, son of a gun.
Holy Moses. Okay.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, okay. Flashback to the Emery immolation scene where suddenly literally see the shields cast were made of souls, not normal magic. I'm going to put that for, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And this is, now we sprinkle Pythia back in here because she would have been with Tyler at this point. Nope. She wouldn't have. Dang it.
Right.
Because she doesn't show up until the graveyard. Okay, we have to go back to. Hold on, let me think. We can get around that pretty easily. Pythia has been with Kyler since childhood because he's, you know, like Neo, one of the ones, possibles, whatever. And she's been with them since childhood, just like she's been with every other potential, like Emery, since childhood. She just wasn't an active presence until she was there visually. She was there to watch, not to be seen, not to be heard, not to help. She was there judging Kyler and Emery and their abilities and if they're worthy, kind of a thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So kind of like she's just been this bystander. She didn't make herself known to Kyler until the funeral. Like known as far as being an anonymous spirit, at least. But she's always been there, like watching all of the potentials that could become the next Oracle. Because we did say when we were going through that Kyler's not the only one that was a potential. Hey, Dante.
Hi, Dante. Good to see you, buddy.
So, yeah. So, been around since child. I'm gonna add to this. Since been around since childhood, she never revealed herself until the funeral. But we will be able to see her in the flashback because now she wants Tyler to know she was there. And now I don't know who he is. That good? I think I fixed it.
Are we at the bottom of 2 again?
Yeah, this is where we split Act 2 into 3. So we gotta go climb back up to the top for 3 now.
Okay.
Because that was our like little catalyst for Act 3. Okay, so this is where Gloria, that top of Act 3, Gloria's attacked.
It's a link?
I think we got.
What the?
I don't think so. I didn't mean to put a link in there. But mostly what's in that post-it is in the one that's below it. Like we can probably combine we can probably take one of those out and just add a little other information in or just shorten one of those. Then yeah, we have the council fucking up the whole rescue of Darian. But what was it? What was it? Other than the Unbound was trying to rescue Darian. It's not really a. I don't necessarily know that. Oh no, yeah. Remember? Okay, I remember. I remember now. They fuck it up, and that gives them an opening to try to almost kill Tyler or to almost kill. Yeah. So, let me put that here. The council, what's up? The Unbound trying to what are the Unbound trying to do right here? Just
they're trying to
they're trying to rescue Darian. Duh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, up the Unbound trying to rescue Darian, and that gives Zebby an opening to try to kill Tyler. We get the they do not win, but still it's the holy shit moment. All right, so then Dershia readies the troops. Now she's pissed. The drama sinks in. Kyler tries to find his Zin. He gets the 411 from the brides. That it's even worse than they thought, and they try even harder to find their Zin and manage to do it. And Pithy goes, "Yo, you're the one." Okay, so we're there. So now we are. I like my synopsis. I'm good with my synopsis. That was good. All right. So this is chapter 17, the climax in our current outline we're working. So this is where we've got the dream call to action. We have according to this is a vision or dream conversation between Justicia and Kyler. Justicia tells Kyler he is on her way to help, but it won't do any good if Kyler doesn't buy her time. And this is then we have Darian wakes up Kyler, thrashing in their sleep during the dream. And this is where suddenly Darian knows Kyler needs that Bible. Like we have Darian's Thadar going off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to. His ability of knowing what's important and that he's gonna need it. Actually when it aligns with what it's needed for, he just knows.
Darian, Kyler thrashes in their sleep, and Darian wakes them up all gentle like. Now is the time for the Bible.
Yeah. I feel like it's important that we put a note in here because we might forget. It's time for the Bible because this is when Darian's ability tells him it's needed. Just so we don't forget. All right. So, okay. Can we take a small constitutional? I have a little break, 10 minutes or so, and I need to run and refresh things.
I think a 10-minute sprint sounds great.
Awesome. Y'all want a 10-minute sprint? Let's go. I'm not going to sprint. Well, I am going to sprint, but it's going to be into the kitchen.
The dagnabbit. It's going to play ads.
Of course it's going to play ads.
Just like it did this morning. All right. Stop screen, present screen.
Hey, John. We're about to do a 10-minute sprint. so that
Hey,
Sako and I
Dawn. Joe
stretch our
Hendry,
legs.
so I'm cool.
All right, y'all, have fun.
All right, let's, we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Yep.
I'm trying to organize everything, sorry. Okay. Okay.
Hi, dear. I was putting a
Hello.
note in here because I had an idea during the thing.
Okay.
All right, so up here, where after we have a, Pythia's like, "Yo, you the one." Yeah, you've now become Buddha, so it's all good. Kyler has the dream about Justicia, and Justicia asks for time. So
Right.
this didn't make this was a weak point to me, and it's been bugging me
Okay.
because she's quite powerful and knows quite powerful people. She's got to know somebody. I mean, she knows Daricia. Daricia can teleport using her ice. I mean,
Yeah.
so what would be keeping Daricia from just going and getting Justicia? So I was thinking that we could kind of infer that Justicia, she's maybe in another dimension or on another plane. And that's why she can't come right away, because that's tricky. You can't just, you just can't hop realities kind of a
Mm-hmm.
thing. And this allows us to she could be the catalyst for all of them getting into book 3, and then that way, she could be the one reaching out and asking for help, and Darian, stepping in because he's, Fae, kind of a thing. That's a possibility. That possibility allows us to have basically Justicia as our opening catalyst for this series and our closing catalyst for this series for at least the Hellforged portion. It gives a good symmetry. So that's one idea.
Okay.
But otherwise, we don't have to have her do that at all. It could just be one of those weird, mysterious little things that we do to readers where we just don't answer something that is kind of trivial, but also just important enough for them to remember.
Right.
So either one works for me. I kind of I love symmetry, don't get me wrong, and that's all nice. But I would love to, I would rather leave that annoying little mysterious thread of, well, where the hell was Justicia that whole time? What realm was she in? Like, kind of one of those things.
Hmm.
So we might want to give that a think, because next we have a big thinker. We did a huge, I don't know what you and I
This is
combined.
where, this is where the timelines diverged.
Yeah,
During the during the
there's just a ginormous hole here that is, I'm like, how this is like the size of the Grand Canyon. How did we leave this here with no notes to ourselves? And I was like, oh, but yeah. So, like I said, if we did the whole Justicia and where is she and why can't she come right away, I think I would rather leave it the whole mysterious, that would be a question or a Q&A at a convention we could do, for fans. I think in regards to stuff like that, what can you do later as promotional and marketing for it,
Mm-hmm.
And something like an unanswered question is fun. It's fun to me. Fun to my little treasure hunt, murder she wrote, puzzle solving brain. That's the mystery writer.
The mystery writer. Which is me trying to write mystery, and it's only sort of working because I do the symmetry thing.
No, I mean, the symmetry thing is fine too. We can do it either way. We don't, I mean, we don't have to say that Justicia is in the Fey realm because of what she's bringing Darian in there for. She could have been in there for something else entirely. Who knows? So we can be mysterious one way or another. But symmetry is good with me. It's more writing we have to do. you paused. You're like, but it's more writing technically in book 3 that we have to do, not more writing in book 2.
Right.
Okay, so that's the one I already have in here. So I've got it. That's why she can't come right away, is because she's in the Fey realm. Allows us to have her be the catalyst for book 3. If the other plane she's in is in the Fey realm. Okay. So now we've got Kyler thrashes in sleep. This is when they know the Bible. He knows the Bible is needed and he has to give it to Kyler. Now, this is where we literally jump to basically the Unbound, Kyler, Dericia, and everyone just like storming the church for I don't know why.
To avenge the vampires, I'm assuming.
I mean, to avenge the vampires. I'm not sure I like the vampires are. It's just, why would they pick this moment is what I'm saying.
Oh,
what's the impetus? Yeah, to what's the urgency in this moment and not
what are the
taking a little more.
Yeah, I got you.
Because we have to have some pretty serious stakes here for them to finally move. And also to make the psychological horror and just empathy, gut-wrenching empathy, we decided to add that there were a bunch of civilians there at the church, and like it's like a big potluck or something going on.
Yeah.
Which we could do that with bad intel. That's easy enough that somebody could tell, Kyler or Dericia, Kyler, whomever, that the church looks like it's amassing blah 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 blah. They don't realize there are women and kids and non-hateful idiots there, kind of a thing. But we've still got to have. I mean, it looks like the church is massing to move against the to move against the vampires, maybe. That could be it. They just get bad intel.
The Unbound get bad intel. The church of something.
Yeah, that just at the church. We can shorten it for now. We gave it a name. Sorry. That the church is looks like they're like amassing troops. Maybe lots of people, tons of people showed up. Maybe I'm thinking it's like a Baptist tent revival kind of thing. Those things are huge. People truck in for them. You bring in whole families, and you often bring in large vehicles, kind of thing.
But so, it turns out to be.
It turns out it's just
barbecue.
It's basically it's a massive tent revival. It's like a festival. Because I know you've never I know you are fortunate.
I have never
had to.
No.
It's basically like a Ren fair, but all churchy.
Outside,
and no cosplay.
Revival.
Yeah. So it's just bad intel, and so that's why they move suddenly. Like Okay, yeah, so that's when the vampires decide to move to go after the church. So that's when the Unbound and Kyler and Duricia and Iris. Wait, when was the last time we mentioned Iris? Okay, let's get through this part and then we'll go to that.
Yeah. We'll do an arc for Iris at some juncture.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So the vampires, they decide to attack the church because they think the church is coming to attack them.
You want to write it?
I can go ahead and do it. I don't know. Vampires. Yeah. And the vampires move on the church. So does Tyler
And the Unbound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler and crew. Yeah, and we know it turns out to be potluck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then we've got that. The next that we had was so they stormed the church looking for victims or brainwashed cult members to help or rehabilitate or whatever. Zeb's people are the opponents, not just Zeb's inner circle, but also the churchgoers. There are some churchgoers that are militia, like wannabe military douchebags, those guys. But they're not like actually in Zeb's crew. They're just trying to get in with the crew, kind of a thing. And then, but some of them are actually, some of them are just women and kids. Now, here is where. So we've got Justicia shows up in a ring of blue fire, stopping everyone from fighting, and the fire cleanses Satan of the suit, melted wax style. But there's a gap here.
There's a gap.
Mm-hmm. I know we discussed at one point, somewhere right in here-ish, that there was some type of power slowing, like time, power that's like slowed time. I think it was Darian we were talking about.
I think it was Darian we were talking about, but that makes even less sense.
Exactly. So it is something we could do with Iris here because still we don't actually know her powers and stuff.
It would be a cool like reveal as to what she's been up to since book 1.
Wait, I actually remembered the conversation. So we had this exact same conversation. I swear this is deja vu.
Yeah.
Okay. We said, oh, hey, it could be Darian can slow time. Oh, no, well, that kind of sucks. We don't want to do that. I mean, that's just too contrived. And I went, well, hey, we need Iris in here. We need a reason for Iris to be in here. It's not like she's really a combatant, or anything anymore. She's unenthralled. And then I said, well, what if she can slow down time for a very short amount of time for either a large group of people, or she can stop time for a single person for a very short amount of time, because what, she's the guardian of the box for book 3, and that would give her a chance anytime somebody was near that was going to try to take that box, she'd have time to get away. Like that's like it's literally her defensive measure. She freezes you so she can run away. And hide again with the box and the one precious component. You remember any of that? Or
Yeah,
did I fever dream that? Okay. Sweet.
I remember it. The Unbound, look for survivors, which I put in parentheses because they're vampires, and other prisoners.
Okay, so and then it would be here. I'm gonna move this down a little bit. I just want to get that part in there about Iris.
Excuse me. Okay.
Just want to get that in there before forget. Okay. So yeah, so I assume this is going to be a lot at once. So we've got the Unbound. They converge on the church because, along with the vampires,
Which
because
is basically a tailgate
it's
party.
Tombstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a tailgate party, but now we've got Tombstone, we've got the OK Corral kind of showdown. And they go in there and it's, a slaughter from one side. Not really a slaughter, but I'm sure there will be some attacking before people start to figure out that this is not an army, like getting its shit together and getting ready to go out on recon, like getting ready to go into battle. This is just a whole lot of evangelicals hooping it up and having their revivals and whatever. It's just a lot of them come with weapons, and so it looked like.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound about right?
So from here is the Justicia shows up and her fire melts Peggy's or Satan's Peggy suit right
Wait.
off of them.
Oh, no, actually, we're going to have to. We're going to have to do the Bible thing first. Hold on. So,
Are we, this is where we goofed up the.
This is where we keep doing that. Okay, so I'm coming back up here real quick to the Unbound. Look for survivors and prisoners. I'm going to change this, though.
Okay.
The Unbound and vampires do attack and harm/kill from revive trimbalists before people realize it, realize what's going on. Happening. And that is when Justicia shows up.
Okay.
Piggy's suit starts to melt. Hold on real quick. My thoughts are his spacesuit starts to melt. Tyler realizes who Peggy actually is. Or Iris. No, sorry, Iris does. Iris realizes she is. Too powerful since there are seven. He's one of the seven princes.
Mm-hmm.
Slows. That way their slow motion melts, flesh is melting off.
Mm-hmm.
That way Sako gets to write slow motion melting flesh. That's it. That's impetus right there.
Okay.
And then so slows, and that's when Iris slows the time. That's just why. And then this is where Kyler realizes, or we can even put that Darian, his power pings off again and says, "The Bible now. Use the Bible," something like that.
Darian.
We put that in there.
Feels the power.
Tell him, for lack of.
Is tug at him, and he yells, "The Bible now!"
Yeah. And now we get Kyler uses the Bible. Gonna go look for whatever is important about this Bible. They don't know what's important exactly about this Bible, but they're going to let their balance guide them. How's that?
Kyler investigates the Bible to find out it's the family Bible.
Oh, I don't think they need to investigate it. I think Kyler just needs to trust Darian to just reach out with their powers and their newfound necromancy powers that they have, using the Bible as a talisman, basically.
Right.
So but doesn't need to know why. Just needs to know that they're gonna trust. They're gonna connect with who they need to connect with.
Kyler connects with father and grandfather and channels them for Zebby. Right?
All right. And channels them for Zebby, and they tell Zebby, "You're wrong. We're wrong. Our whole family's been wrong. This is the route to hell, and that's been manipulating you."
This
You're wrong. Our family, you're wrong. We're wrong. Our family's always been wrong. That is the true evil right there that's been manipulating you, and then like points to Peggy Meltdown.
the true evil that haunts you?
That has manipulated you. You really work for Satan. I mean, literally just dropping Satan. And then which is funny to me because I have Gloria specifically go out of the way earlier to explain that it's a common misnomer that Satan and Lucifer are two different, that are the same person.
Right.
I had her go out of the way earlier because it was something that I had to talk about with you because it's not something you're familiar with. And
Right.
so I think it's kind of particularly nice here that it's like, it's Satan himself, kind of thing. Like, and then we've got, after that, Zeb turns on Peggy and Satan, freak the fuck out. And the church.
Turns on the church and Satan without their Peggy suit.
Mm-hmm. No, Zebby doesn't turn on the church. Just Zebby and the church turn on Satan. Because they realized, they really thought they were really that, I'm being as nice as possible, they were really that idealistically misguided. Because they really thought they were doing the Lord's work. I mean, blood-sucking vampires. Come on.
They thought they were doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, like I said, I'm being real generous there. But it's also just to point out not everybody's totally evil. So I think that's a good to go in there, and it fits with our theme. And this is literally when, hold on, because we've got okay. Now, see, we have a beat in here that makes no sense, but it did earlier when we had Tommy doing and his crew doing more, but
that was another timeline, I think.
Yep, it was. So this will need to come out of here. Okay, no problem. I got the beat out of there then. Okay, so this is basically when Iris could just restart time and one, Satan's weakened by the fire going on, but two, basically they could just let the church take out Satan. It's not Kyler necessarily taking out Satan, but Kyler was the reason why, it was the power behind, how Satan gets taken out. So close enough. Unless you don't think it's close enough.
So, okay, so once
time restarts, the church takes out the weakened Satan.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that basically breaks Satan's power, and it also breaks the oath with the vampires because it was an oath made under false pretenses. So the vampires are back to being neutral again, which is good.
The vampires are back to being neutral again, which is good.
Which is good. I know we did decide that we could officially kill the demons, but did we decide we could officially kill the seven princes themselves? Lucifer.
No, I dare say no.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking, because I mean, one, it will be easier and feed into things a lot easier for us in book 3, and 2, if we start going off killing the Morning Star and Satan, then we don't have a whole lot of, like, I guess, incentive really to do a heaven, a heaven sent series, whatever. So okay, cool. So Satan is basically weakened and just basically defeated on Earth and yanked back to hell, and got to deal with his comeuppance with the Morning Star, but we'll get into that elsewhere.
So at this point,
it's the
epilogue, right?
Yeah. At this point, we can go straight into the epilogue. But what we have, I'm pretty sure these were just sillies that we have.
It's basically the journey back.
Yeah, so we've got chapter 18 here, and we've got going home. We have the Mage Council kind of bumbling their way in again after this, kind of offering their assistance to help clean up this mess. They have the resources to hide this kind of stuff, to deal with the
council starts cleaning up the mess.
It makes the offer. They kind of like insinuate they would like Kyler, the official, Delphian.
They now that Kyler is the Delphian, the council gives a shit.
Kind of does the whole little recruitment speech.
Is uninterested.
Yeah, I figure we can let Kyler. Not even Kyler here. I kind of just want. This is fun because we could have any number of people that hate the council, from Darian to Iris to Kyler. Julio could show up at this point. Any number of people could show up and be the one that just decks, Brenner as she and her people get out of their Humvees and offer to help them with the situation at hand. Kind of a thing. It's been like, definitely as a Delphian should come back and think about, joining us. Imagine all the people we could help, our resources, your foresight, blah, blah, blah. Recruitment crap. And we could have any number of people either flip them the fuck off or decide to all out deck them for whatever reason. Depending on how fun we want to get at that point.
We should specify that the The family has been in hell, not heaven.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Sorry, specify beside that that is what gets noticed by the fates for book 3. Because now Kyler can literally pull people out of hell, which no one's supposed to be able to do. Probably not even the Oracle. I think we've got to post it here somewhere that says basically that.
Yeah, we do.
Excuse me.
Which no one is supposed to be able to do.
Okay. All right, awesome. So that gives us like a good lead in for 3. All right, back up to the epilogue. Okay. Then we have listed Kyler doing another seance, like getting back to the norm.
Kyler has a new client for a seance.
And what we have here is that the new client is a woman who lost her sister, but I think we should tailor it more to something, mysterious and enigmatic for book 3 that could lead into book 3. And we know we're dealing with the Fae. Let's zoom out and look at what we have so far for book 3 and see if there's anything that we have currently that would be usable here. Does that sound okay? I'm like bossy tonight. I'm like, sorry, my brain is just firing. So this is where we have Justicia's arc, more Lucifer arc. We have the Iris and her power arc. We have Jerry and her Iris arc. The Fates, the Fae, and specifically the Celtic gods. And this is Hell Gets Recruited, is the tagline we had for this. Tie in whatever is wrong with the Fae, with a hell divided into factions, and who Darian and gang must recruit to help the Fae. This would give us a great wrap up to the Hellforge series, then leaving things open maybe to tackle a heaven series. And then we've got book 3. We'll pull together the Hellforge series with Lucifer having been the mastermind all along. He wants to finally return to heaven, and he is orchestrating it because Justicia, Kyler, Darian, and Iris are the key. How? No clue yet. Actually, we do. I think we have enough to seed that in right there. To have Kyler have some type of another Lucifer vision. I mean, that's like the one vision that scared the holy living daylights out of them. Is that cool, or am I being too like? Oh.
Kyler has a new client for a seance, and they have another Lucifer vision. during such.
And that's our like thread for a lead-in for book 3.
Darian deserves his puppy.
Yes, that has to be the final thing. I literally, okay. This is, I had an idea about this puppy scene.
Okay.
Okay, so I kind of want Kyler to come out of that absolutely horrifying, because we know they are horrified. That like the Morning Star is the one vision they've had that absolutely terrifies the living daylights out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when they have another one, I literally want Kyler, who has become stronger, to look when Lucifer is like, this will come to pass, this will happen, blah, 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 blah. The gates of heaven are gonna be on fire or something. I don't know.
Or something.
Dramatic.
It's
Dramatic.
Dramatic.
I want Kyler to like, they're still terrified. They still want to wet themselves. To just look at the Morning Star, bend down, and pick up like an imaginary box, like that has little holes in the sides of it. And I want Kyler to break themselves out of the Lucifer vision by saying, no thanks. My baby gets a puppy today. Or, I'm giving Darian a puppy today. Or I'm proposing with a puppy today. I don't care. I just want it to be so cute that it rots my teeth.
I think that works great. So Kyler, how do we word this?
Kyler is powerful enough now to control a vision that's being given to them directly by an archangel, the Morning Star. And he does so by kind of lucid dreaming, rather, but lucid visioning a puppy into the vision and says something about no thank you. I'm gonna propose with a puppy today.
No thank you. I'm proposing with a puppy today.
Darian gets his puppy. It's a healing moment, even though they don't have to be together for that healing moment. They are, because
Darian
probably in the house.
Puppy.
Yeah. We don't even have to show him getting his puppy. The reader gets to imagine that scene of Kyler proposing to Darian with a puppy.
Yeah.
And if they have any rainbow in their heart at all, I'm hoping it will do what it's doing to me.
Okay.
That takes us to the end. That's it.
I think so.
Darian gets a puppy. That's the end.
Darian gets a puppy. That's the end. Look at our second act. It's like twice as long as our first.
There's a lot going on there, though. We've got a lot going on. Oh, hey. No, next. We don't have time. We've only got like 5 minutes left of the stream. But we need to figure out where Iris needs to be sprinkled back in again before the climax. But other than that, just maybe we can kind of keep a mental note of that, because I don't think there's enough time to comb through them without possibly screwing up our timeline, and I want to go to bed with a finished timeline.
Yeah.
I will sleep the sleep of
Ages.
whatever. Yeah, I will sleep the sleep of ages, no matter what aches and pains and weirdness my meds do, and like all that weird stuff, because we will have a all-in-one timeline. It makes sense. And only probably has little tiny itty bitty Swiss cheese plot thingies here and there.
Yeah,
Not Grand
it's a
Canyons.
little Swissy. It's a little Swissy at the moment, but
Yeah. We got Swiss. It's okay. It's not a Grand Canyon.
I figure we write this as an outline, which I assume you've also been doing.
Yeah, so I've been translating. I translated everything but the last couple of these bullet points. And that's because my brain was going too fast ideas about the puppy.
Okay.
So I can get those in here. Here after
That's
a bit. I'm
true,
gonna go grab some
actually.
dinner.
Kat has a good point. I usually do a 4-act, and we're doing a 3-act for this, so that I wasn't taking that into consideration. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm more traditionally do the 3-act, but we did the 4-act with Flambeau.
We did the 4-act with Flambeau.
Yeah, because I said specifically, I've never done the 4-act. This is like, I don't know where to do that. Yeah, I know, but it was like that. It was weird for me to get the right flow. And you were like, well, this is how you taught me something. So now we're getting to do the 3-act.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, other than we got to figure out where to just seed Iris back in once or twice here or there mentioned.
Yeah.
Other than that, it is essentially it's in.
I think every time we mention the Unbound, we should have Iris in that group.
Within that group.
Mm-hmm.
I am okay with that, with her finding a place. Plus, she's got the hookup with Julio, and Julio will feel more comfortable dealing with her than necessarily dealing with the Unbound.
Right.
When trying to help, even though he wants to try and help people from becoming enthralled. So, I think that's good. All right, I'm gonna do a little blue note here at the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. To just remind myself, to remind us, it's a little blue note. Whenever we mention the Unbound, we mention Iris is there with somehow, some way to keep her seated for proper flow. I think that's enough of a reminder for us, right?
Something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yay! We made it to the end. Now we can actually make an outline and start writing.
Hey, to be fair, I think there's still a lot that we already wrote that needs very minor
kind of like plug in. Yeah,
that we can cannibalize a bit and do some very minor changes and just move some stuff around. I think there's quite a bit still in there, but next week
Kat is now at 1K for the day.
Nice. See, my back. More than Hold one on. And now more than 1K. Y'all good there? You have pain. Your poor back. So before I got sick and everything, I always wanted to do belly dancing. I knew it was gonna suck because I already have arthritis in my back, and hips and stuff like that from accidents. But I was like, I always wanted to do it. I was like, but I know I would hurt so bad. So I used to think how bad your back must hurt because of that. And then now I'm like, oh, good God, I bet her back hurts way more than I ever thought it hurt.
It's because I'm sitting here like hunched over my computer, like sitting on a pillow, you know, like no back support, no.
My wife yells at me all the time for doing that, like at my
Yeah,
desk. She's like, "Why
yeah.
are you hunched forward over your
Why are you
computer looking?"
hunched forward? Yeah.
It's like, you have a chair, it has a back, it's ergonomic, it's, you know, like you could sit properly, but the problem is I can't sit properly. I'm unfortunately one of those bisexuals that just we're not allowed. It's like encoded somehow in our DNA. It gets activated with the bi gene. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, we should wrap up.
Okay. If you guys like this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you want to see more streams like this one, you can usually find me on Tuesday mornings and Tuesday evenings on YouTube. You might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when I go live. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.
See ya.